And therefore, on ownership, what we are having to do to respond to what's happening in the marketplace, ownership actually will make no difference. The changes that we are making, we will have to do, because we won't be able to deliver the product mix that we've got if we stay as we are. So ownership in that context makes no difference whatsoever. What is really important is investment. We need to be able to invest in the company if we are going to be able to adapt our technology, upgrade our premises, invest in new technologies as they emerge. And to do that, we need investment. And I think the one thing that we're all clear on, whether it's the CWU, the business itself, and I think most of the people who work in the business, we all recognise that we need investment. So we need that money. And I think if there is any disagreement, it's where does that money come from? And what I would say to you is the reality is it's not going to come from government. And government do not have the money to give the Royal Mail that we need to invest in the company and make the changes we need. So we have to get external capital. And that means looking at who owns the Royal Mail so we can secure the investment. And that's the real issue. It's not really about ownership, that is a matter for government. It's about investment and external capital. And that is vital to the success, the future success of the Royal Mail. And therefore, for all of our security and hopefully well-being well into the future.
Hi, I'm Robert McArdle from Coventry. Hugely proud to work for Royal Mail as a public servant, and I just have to sadly disagree with you where you say the government have the money for Royal Mail. I mean, it's the same government that managed to find 10 million for Thatcher's funeral, the same government that bailed out the banks to almost the tune of £1 trillion, the same government that doubled, as you mentioned, the clothing ceremony of the Olympics. Yes, hugely proud, doubled the cost of that, and also was able to find money whenever it liked. And it concerns me that you seem to think that we need external investment, that somehow the government won't give us the money anymore. Well, that's very disappointing. I mean, when you think of private investors, they will want something back for their money that they put in. And if we look at you mentioned about other postal organisations having external money in them. But you look at other British companies that are privatised, you look at the likes of BT, the workforce down from 250,000 at privatisation to just 89,000 now. And I fear that the same will happen with Royal Mail. We've seen a generation of young people deprived of a job because of jobs that are lost. And going down the privatisation road, to me, is not the answer. Because they will want their pound of flesh, and sadly, it will be our pound of flesh that they'll want, and they won't be asking until we're on the dole. We haven't got the money to pay for the mortgage anymore.
Well, let me say